what I like to do is, of course, all of, and so with that, I like to throw the F-bomb a little bit, and then along with that, suggest that the judges, who obviously recognize my many famous works, are going to suggest a title that is their favorite of my books. And so yes, please, suggest a title.
I'm just recognizing they had green eggs and ham.
Okay, that's a good one. I think it's been taken, but we may do that. One more title.
I think this book really spoke to my heart, and I think it had a lot of depth to it. 50 Shades of Trump.
Okay, 50 Shades of Trump. I think we'll go with that. This is not a political show, despite the hat or the fact that it says, Make America Create Again. But, so I'm not supporting anybody in this particular thing. But actually, it's a novel that was one of my famous novels. I wrote it about 10 years ago, based on his Apprentice show. And I think it came from the fact that he didn't accept me on the show, that I wrote a particularly vile novel. But it seems despite that, he has become a candidate of some sort for some party. Of course, you always have to have a fair amount of sex in any book to sell. And so Trump seemed to be a prime character. We also thought that it was important that he become a Viagra spokesperson based on, his age, etc. And so it really details his first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh marriages to progressively younger women. And we're thinking that, of course, at that time, he would soon end up with 7-year-olds. So if there's a 7-year-old in the audience, you probably ought to watch out. And so the 50 Shades, none of which included red, white, and blue. So they all tended to go darker and darker and darker, were his sort of shades. And so it was 50 shades of racial insults, essentially. Originally, he goes so far back, he was against the Chinese immigrants who built the railroads across the country. And that then has changed to Italian Americans, like my particular heritage, on through people from Southeast Asia, who you may be familiar with. And so it really covered that whole transition of 150, or as long as we've had our country, of racism, that we've always had sort of xenophobia. And so that was essentially the story of this novel, how you could go from xenophobia to pornography to abuse of young women. And so that basically was the basis of our story. And of course, it had to end in a tragedy, where, of course, Donald, or as they say, the Trump, and he had this image of sort of a trumpet, but basically his trumpet went soft at the end of this novel. And so that was, of course, a massive tragedy, and it may be what happens again in early November. But that was that fabulous story. It was made into a best-selling movie, and it actually was a cartoon show, as some of you may recognize. So thank you very much.
I don't know, I detected a slight bit of jealousy